I am going to survive the next 100 days on this island in hardcore Minecraft with only 3 rules. Rule number 1, no totems of undying. Rule number 2, no leaving the island unless it's for the Ender Dragon fight. And rule number 3, it has to be done in hardcore mode. So join me as we take on the challenges of hardcore Minecraft while surviving 100 days on a barren island that only has 1 tree. Let's get this video to 10,000 likes for the next 100 days. I have a feeling this is going to be really difficult. Anyways, let's go ahead and get started by mining the first tree on the island, along with gathering up this sugarcane. And we already have 2 saplings, so let's go ahead and place these back down so we can get plenty of wood before the first night. Using the wood I just collected, I want to make 1 crafting table so I can make a wooden pickaxe, and then dig down a little bit to collect up some stones so I can make some basic stone tools. I was able to get 1 more sapling from these decaying leaves, so I'm just going to place this right here. Anyways, I need to go ahead and get myself some food so I can survive through the night, and since we're completely surrounded by ocean, I decided to kill a whole bunch of cod. 21 raw cod later, and one of the trees has grown, so I'm gonna go ahead and harvest this, along with collect up a few more pieces of cobblestone so I can then craft myself 1 furnace and make some charcoal by smelting up all of these oak logs. Come to think of it, I should probably place the sugarcane back in so it can start growing more and more, since, you know, this is like all the sugarcane I have to my name. Now that the charcoal is done, I can go ahead and cook up some of this cod, along with taking a few pieces of charcoal so I can then craft up some torches, which I will place around the island so no mobs are spawning at nighttime. You know, I don't think this tree gave us a single sapling, unless they fell into the water, but I don't really see anything. That's a shame, because I really need those. Day 0 is pretty much complete, so I'm just gonna go ahead and start digging for most of the night since I really don't have anything else to do. Hopefully we can get some coal or even maybe some iron. I decided to go ahead and build a spiral staircase with a 3x3 block area in the middle. This will come in handy later if I want to build an item elevator transporting my items up from a strip mine. I've made it down to deep slate, which is a good thing but also a bad thing because it takes so much longer to mine than just cobblestone. Might as well keep on going though until this pickaxe breaks, which is going to go ahead and bring us right on to day 1, and both of our trees have grown up. So I can go ahead and harvest these and harvest the sugarcane again so I can continue to wrap the outside of the island with sugarcane. Oh, look at that. We also got an apple, which I guess isn't super important, but I mean, it's an apple. Anyways, these first couple days are going to be extremely grindy since it's pretty much just planting saplings and harvesting trees, along with digging down below the surface. We got 2 more saplings, so I'm going to go ahead and place these back in, and hopefully we can maybe get 2 or 3 more. This island that we have spawned in on is not going to be big enough to support 100 days of building. Now, I could go ahead and build everything underground, but that's just not what I like to do. So instead, I think the next best option is going to be building other islands. These islands will range from small to big, and each of them will have different uses. So with that being said, I went ahead and flattened out the spawn island so I can save the dirt, since it is going to be quite valuable in the early days. Day 1 is pretty much complete, so rather than working up on the surface where I can be attacked by drown, I'm gonna keep mining for the evening. And below this dirt block, we have run into a cave, but not just any cave, it's a mine shaft. And I hear spiders, which makes me believe there's probably a cave spider right down here. Ooh, there's a minecart with a chest right there. Okay, and there is one of the cave spiders. I'm just gonna collect this chest. Ooh, we got a diamond, very cool. Oh my goodness, I just had a realization. These have a bunch of string everywhere, and I can actually turn string into wool and make myself a bed. Oh, we also got pumpkin seeds. I didn't even realize that was in a chest. Is there any iron in the ceiling or the walls? No, there isn't. Oh, there's iron right. Oh my goodness. Do not tell me it was a singular piece and it just fell down there. You know, I think the nighttime is almost over, so I'm just gonna go ahead and make my way back up to the surface. Which brings us right on to day 2, where I want to continue working on this island. Passive mobs are gonna be extremely important for us moving forward on this world. And right now, we don't have any. One solution to this problem is by expanding the island out all the way to the edges of the biome, which is currently a forest, and if you swim out a little bit more, it becomes a windswept hills, which are both biomes that passive mobs can spawn in. So I went ahead and expanded the island out, making it into a perfect circle, but this is gonna use much more dirt than I currently have. So I started to find dirt under the water that I could mine easily without putting my head under, because once your head goes under, it takes 10 times longer to mine a piece of dirt. And after spending pretty much the entire night collecting up dirt, I think this should be enough to finish off the island. Et voila, we have a finished circular island. And it's also now day 3. Oh, almost forgot to place my sugarcane back in. Now, as we talked about earlier, the reason I expanded this island is the hopes of a mob spawning, preferably a passive one. Now, the way passive mob mechanics work, I can't be within 24 blocks of a spawning area. And right now, well, I'm in that 24 blocks. So crafting myself a boat, I started to paddle away from the island at least 24 blocks, and then make my way back in hopes of a passive mob spawning. And as it turns out, this is probably gonna be much more difficult than I thought. Anyways, there's a little bit of daytime left as it starts to rain, which is fine because I wanna make my way out into the ocean and look for a sunken ship. And the rule of not leaving the island really only applies to stepping on another piece of land. Okay, I got way too close to the ocean monument there. That looks like a sunken ship. Yes, it is. All right, it is right below us, so take one, just swim down, and it is really dark. Oh, lots of iron. I forgot that these things have iron in them. Swim back up to the surface. Okay, I made it. Okay, I actually need to go back to the island. I cannot keep exploring this because this is now the 3rd night of this world, and I have not slept once, which means phantoms are now going to be spawning. And I really don't want to lose this world to phantoms. Once I got back to the island, I crafted 2 iron pickaxes and made my way down to Y16. As important diamonds are to me, I think iron is actually the main thing I want right now, and Y16 is perfect for strip mining iron. I also got a little bit more coal, which is always awesome, and some golden lapis, which now brings us on to day 4, where I want to spend the beginning of today going back over to that sunken ship one more time, and hopefully I can get the chest at the front of the ship, which is right there, and I just want to grab all of this stuff. And I'm pretty sure we actually just got some potatoes, which is great because that means one more type of food to eat. I also noticed that there is an abandoned nether portal over there. I can't really do anything about it just yet, but I mean, it's good to know. Now this is kind of sad. I was able to get myself a treasure map, but I can't really use it because that involves me stepping on another piece of land, which that's one of the rules that I can't do. I spent the rest of day 4 chopping all of the trees down, along with crafting myself 1 shield and a fresh iron pickaxe. This is because I want to make my way down into that strip mine and collect up as much cobwebs as possible, and hopefully we can get enough string to craft 3 pieces of wool and make ourselves a bed. Anyways, I better get down there before these phantoms start spawning. I need to make my way down here, but I'm pretty sure there is a spider spawner right down there. Okay, we got a spider right there. I'm gonna bridge across. Okay, I think I have enough area lit up, so I'm gonna start collecting up some of these cobwebs along with this redstone. Oh, that is something I definitely like to see. I want to get this all lit up real quick. Looks like we're good down this way. I'm going to keep lighting it up. I do want to go back and collect up these diamonds, though. Holy cow, that was a big pack. I think we got 9 diamonds from that. We got plenty of string to make a bed along with a bunch of other goodies, and the night is about to be over, so I'm gonna make my way back up to the surface. Which now brings us on to day 5, where I have the ability to craft myself a bed. From there, I spent the majority of day 5 harvesting up trees along with all of my crops, and also testing the theory of taking a boat far away from the island in hopes of a passive mob spawning. As it became nighttime, I opted not to sleep in the bed and went down into the mines to continue looking for some iron, which luckily I did come across a couple veins. On today's 6, and I kind of forgot that dirt spawns down below underground, and I am definitely going to collect this stuff up because I need a lot of it. The reason for all the dirt is so we can get started on our next project, which is going to be the main island. On this main island is going to be our base, which I'm planning on building sort of a small castle, but that's not my main focus right now. I'm just focused on gathering tons and tons of dirt. Day 7 here, and about 5 stacks of dirt should be plenty enough just to get the outline done. We're going to need a lot more when it comes to filling it in. Thank goodness for the websites online that have circle calculators, because there is no way that I would have been able to do this without that. And by the morning of day 8, the outline of the main island is complete. And this thing is quite large. Anyways, stepping away from the island for a quick second, I want to head out and look for another sunken ship, because currently I have 4 emeralds to my name, and if a wandering trader spawns on this island, they usually trade saplings for 5 emeralds. And I really don't want to miss the chance to get one more type of wood, which means another building block. So getting in my boat, I quickly started to search around for another sunken ship. Luckily, there was one right behind this ocean monument. It should be right below me, so time for a dip. Hopefully we can get these chests pretty quickly. First one right here. Oh yeah, we got a whole bunch of goodies. I do hear a drown though, so get me out of here. Oh yeah, he's right there, and there's another one right there. Anyways, I'm just gonna go for it. Whole bunch of goodies too, and I want to say we even even got some carrots. Yes, we did. And I don't really care to go for the last chest because that's the one that just has a little bit of paper and a treasure map, which has no uses to me. We are now on to day 9, and I've just had a realization. Using some slabs, I can make myself a composter, and then with some of the leaves I collected up earlier, I can put in the composter, which will eventually give me some bone meal. And if I bone meal the grass here and break it, there's a chance I might get a seed, which I just did, which means I can till some land over here, place those seeds down, and now we can harvest some wheat. And I obviously cannot forget to also place in the carrots, which we just got from the sunken ship. On the night of day 9, I decided to get smart and bring a couple doors down into the caves with me because I could use these doors in the waterlogged caves to make some air pockets for me to breathe in. It also makes it way quicker to mine blocks. Holy, this is where all the mobs are spawning since the entire surface and all the caves are waterlogged. It is so tempting to go in there because this is like the first cave I've found that isn't waterlogged, but I am definitely going to die if I try to conquer this thing. Oh my goodness, I don't know if you guys just saw that there's a baby zombie that just almost got in here. I think that's my cue to go back up to the surface. And on to day 11 we go, and I want to use some of the dirt I just collected up to start filling in this island. The reason I'm filling out the perimeter and it's taking so much time is I wanted to step up another block so the main part of the island isn't on the same level as the water. That does mean I'm doing a little bit of math, which I suck at. And that is all the dirt I have, so I can't really continue doing this. Anyways, when I was down in the caves, I was able to get 38 raw iron, so I want to smelt all this up so I can craft myself a set of iron armor. Halfway through day 12, enough iron has smelted, so I can go ahead and craft myself a full set of iron armor. And honestly, I am feeling so much safer now. Almost safe enough to take on the most dangerous cave in this world, or at least one that I know of so far. I went ahead and spent the rest of day 12 harvesting all the trees on the island along with harvesting all of my crops. Once I start building, I'm gonna need a decent amount of wood, so might as well start collecting it now. Rather than sleeping through the night of day 12 like I did with day 11, I'm gonna make my way back down into the caves tonight and try looking for some more dirt. I really want to get this island all filled in so we can start building, but I can't do that unless I have more dirt. So making my way below the surface so I can continue strip mining until I ran into more dirt veins. Luckily, I was able to dig for quite a while without running into any underwater caves, and eventually I dug into a different mine shaft. This would be great because there's going to be a lot of dirt in the walls that is completely uncovered. It does mean I get to deal with all the lovely mobs that are spawning in a completely dark mine shaft. I have finally dug into a cave that isn't waterlogged, and I can already see diamonds right there. I don't think I'm gonna go down there just yet to collect any resources because my current diamond pickaxe is nearly about to break. There is a few dirt pockets around this mine shaft, which is great because I need dirt. We're now on to day 14, and I was able to get myself just about 9 stacks of dirt, which isn't going to be enough to fill in this entire circle, but I'm going to make a good dent in it. You know, I thought 9 stacks would be plenty enough to at least get a decent amount of this island filled in, but I was completely wrong. I was only able to do 1 more layer, meaning I probably need another 9 or 10 stacks to complete the entire island. That's okay though, because it's actually been pretty easy to collect up dirt, which when we first started, I thought that was actually going to be one of the hardest things to collect. Ooh, it just started raining. This is perfect. I want to craft myself a fishing rod because I'm almost out of food, and while it's raining, you have a 40% higher chance to catch fish. Now, I'm not necessarily doing this just for the fish. I'm hoping we can maybe get an enchanted book or some other good stuff. One entire night of fishing later, and it's definitely not the fastest way to get food, but I did get a few other items which are pretty good, like this bow that has power 4 and mending on it, and I got this fishing rod that is really good but has curse of vanishing, which means it's pretty much just gonna disappear at any time when I'm using it. Anyways, I crafted another diamond pickaxe since mine was almost broken, and made my way back underground to go for one more trip collecting dirt. I'm assuming I'm only gonna need another 9 or 10 stacks, which shouldn't be too hard to collect up. And also with my new diamond pickaxe, it means I can start exploring that cave that we found a little bit ago. We have got some more diamonds right here if I can reach them. Oh, it was only a 2-pack. Oh, no, we got a third one. That's why you always dig around. From what I thought was a 2-pack turned out to be a 6-pack. There's some more diamonds right up there, but off to the right side, there's a creeper. Oh, I did not expect him to jump down. All right, go ahead and explode, buddy. Oh my goodness, I did not think he was gonna jump down. And now we can collect this one up. Sadly, that was indeed a 1-pack. I decided to go back down into the original mine shaft we found in the deep slate, and it was worth it because there is 2 minecart chests right there. You know, I kept hearing skeleton sounds and I decided to dig towards the sound, and that's a mob spawner. I just need to figure out how to properly light it up. We had a saddle in this chest, and then in this one, ooh, we got some horse armor and also a music disc along with beetroot seeds. Is there anything down this way? Yep, we got some diamonds. Oh my goodness, there's also a creeper right there. Oh, there's more diamonds right there too. Well, I'm almost out of torches, so I'm gonna go ahead and collect all these diamonds up and go ahead and make my way out of here because I do have a decent amount of dirt. Using all the dirt I just collected, I finished up the second loop around the island, and then I decided to use my brain and collect up a little bit of gravel while I was collecting up dirt, so then I can craft all of it into coarse dirt, which in turn would about double all of the dirt I had. And by the morning of day 19, the island still is not completely filled in. I thought I was being smart by changing this out for coarse dirt so I can double the amount of dirt I had, but it turns out it still wasn't even close to enough. So for one final push, I went down to the caves, collected up a couple more stacks of dirt along with a couple more stacks of gravel. And eventually I finally had enough to get this island completely filled in. With the main platform of the island filled in by day 21, it's time to move on to the next step, which is going to be building a wall around the outside of the island so mobs can't get me when I'm inside working. Putting myself out on a limb, I decided to use calcite and diorite for this wall, which meant first I had to spend a little bit collecting both of these items up, and I also collected up a little bit of moss so I can detail the wall with it. When it came to the actual wall design, I wanted it to be pretty textured and also look like it's been broken down over the years, which I think I did a pretty good job of doing. And just like that, we are now on to day 25, which means we are a quarter of the way through this 100 days. Sadly though, I think I just wasted the last 3 days because I'm not super happy with how the wall has turned out. The reason I don't like the wall is because the castle is also going to be built out of stone, and I think having the wall and castle both built out of a type of stone is just going to be too much. So I spent the rest of day 25 tearing down the wall and coming up with a new design. And after a little bit of messing around, I think this is the style I'm gonna go with. It goes back and forth between stripped oak logs and normal oak logs, and then I'm using some oak slabs, stairs, and fence posts to do a little bit of detailing, along with adding in some lanterns here and there. Although I don't think I'm gonna have nearly enough oak logs to get this wall completely finished, so I gotta get to work chopping some trees. This was the original wall design I wanted to use, but I decided to push the envelope with the stone, which obviously did not end up working out. With the limited amount of blocks I'm gonna have, I need to be careful on what I use for which buildings. And this wall was a perfect example. And now that the wall is complete, I want to take a minute and use some stone to get a layout for this castle. And this right here should be perfect. I'm picturing a tower on each corner along with an entrance on each side of the building. Anyways, we are now on to day 29 and I am all out of food. Like completely out of food. And I have a bunch of apples, but I really don't want to eat them. I also don't really want to eat the carrots or potatoes because I'm planning on replanting those over on the big island. And I'm gonna need a lot more than there is behind me. So I'm just gonna go ahead and spend the entire night fishing and hopefully we get a ton of food. After spending the entire night fishing, I was able to get myself a decent amount of food and also some pretty good loot. I mean, just in one night, I was able to get 2 name tags, along with a nautilus shell, which I don't really need, but at least I have one. With it now being day 30, I wanna spend a little bit of time planting some saplings around our big island because I'm gonna need a lot of charcoal. Since this castle's mainly gonna be made up of stone and stone brick, I need a way to smelt all the cobblestone, and I think charcoal is gonna be the best bet. 43 saplings later, I just need to wait for all of these trees to grow, and then I can begin chopping them all down. In the meantime, I might as well harvest all of these trees. It's now day 31 and a lot of the trees have already grown up, so let's start the chopping montage. Part of the reason I would like to have spruce saplings is because I can bone meal a 2x2 tree and get a bunch of wood much quicker. But sadly, I obviously only have oak. With just over 4 stacks of logs collected, I can start smelting all of this stuff up, and while that continues to smelt, I'm gonna keep chopping down some of these remaining trees. The charcoal is about halfway done and all the trees and saplings are cleared out on the big island, so I actually want to start harvesting all of my crops so I can get them transferred over to there. I mean, after all, this island is the only spot that passive mobs can spawn on, so it's probably important to keep it as cleared up as possible. As the crops start to grow in, I'm gonna fill in these fields completely. It's just right now, I really don't have enough to fill them in, especially when it comes to the wheat fields because I only had 14 seeds. And this entire area is gonna be wheat, along with the side over here, which I haven't really done anything to. And by day 34, a decent amount of the stone has smelted up, so I wanna get started on building this castle. I did a little bit of thinking, and I'm gonna start by building up all these towers at least 9 blocks tall. With the limited amount of blocks I have when it comes to building this castle, it's made it really difficult to come up with a design. I don't want the entire thing to be built out of stone and stone brick because I think it's just gonna end up looking like a giant glob if I do that. Building those towers pretty much used all 5 stacks of stone I smelted up, but don't worry, I have 5 more stacks smelting up right now. Now I would really love to use some spruce on this castle, but a wandering trader still hasn't spawned in yet, which is honestly leaving me a little bit worried. So I might have to improvise and use blocks that I don't normally use. Anyways, while I wait for the stone to finish smelting, I've just been bone mealing some azalea leaves, and of course that didn't work, because I would love to use some of the flowering leaves to decorate the outside of the castle. 36 flowering leaves should be enough, and my thought is just to kind of add them in around the coarse dirt and also mix in some of the normal leaves, a little bit like that, and then I can bring in some bone meal or tall grass and make it look a little bit overgrown. Now, as we already talked about with the limited blocks, I think I'm actually going to make all of these walls into oak planks. Besides just replacing the stone brick with oak planks, I also decided to add in this unstripped oak log beam across the top, and I think I really like how this is looking. So I'm gonna go ahead and do this to the other 3 sides after I sleep, because it's almost nighttime. With another 5 stacks of stone smelted up, I crafted it all into stone brick and continue to work on building up the towers. Anyways, it's now day 37 and the towers are nearly complete, but I also noticed the crops are ready to be harvested. And by day 38, all the crops are placed back in, and we've completely filled up this carrot farm along with the potato field on the other side. I also got a lot of extra potatoes when I was harvesting that stuff, so I'm gonna go ahead and smelt some of this up so I can switch from eating fish to baked potatoes, which I don't think one is really better than the other. While I wait for the potatoes to smelt up, I wanna take a little bit of iron and make some iron bars, so I then can come over to the castle and get rid of some blocks kind of in random areas and replace them with the iron bars. I think it's going to be a nice detail if I do it on all 4 of the towers. To continue chugging along on this castle, I want to get started on figuring out how to design the roof. Right now, I'm thinking of using some cobblestone slabs along with some deep slate tile slabs. I want to use slabs because it's going to cause the pitch of the roof to not be nearly as tall as the towers next to it. I think if the roof's too tall, it's going to look really funky having the towers. And by day 40, we actually have like a legitimate roof over our heads. Since I opted not to build like a miniature starter house, I just went straight into building a castle. Anyways, I spent most of day 40 down below in the caves collecting up as much deep slate as possible. I'm going to need a good amount of this stuff because I'm planning on building the roofs of the towers out of deep slate. And eventually we have run into a cave. I just need to go through and light all of this up. Oh, okay, we got a skeleton. And lots of gold too. The cave also runs into a mine shaft. I'm not sure if this is the one we've already explored or not. So far, it is seeming like it is not. But you know, I don't really have a need to explore this thing just yet. I mainly just want to collect up a decent amount of deep slate so I can finish this castle. I was pretty much killing 2 birds with 1 stone while collecting up this deep slate because at the same time, I was also strip mining for diamonds. That's part of the reason I dug down even deeper when it came to collecting this stuff up, is because I wanted to get to the prime diamond levels, which ended up working out because the amount of diamonds I got is insane. I just made a mistake. I placed this block here at the stairs so no mobs can come down and get me, but I decided to mine deep slate until my pickaxe broke, which means I just need to sit here and mine this piece of deep slate by hand, which is, yep, you know, fun. And by day 43, we're back on the surface, and I would say that was extremely successful. We ended up with a grand total of 39 diamonds, some redstone, some gold, and plenty of cobbled deep slate, which means I can go ahead and get started on working on the tops of these towers. I wanted the roof of the towers to have a nice point to them and be nice and tall. I think it's going to give this building and the island a really cool feel with a lot of depth. Not only did I want them to be tall, I also wanted all of them to be symmetrical since the building in the center is pretty much symmetrical on all 4 sides. Building the roofs for the first 2 towers took quite a bit of time. It took me almost a day for each one. And then once I had a rhythm down and moved on to the backside, it took me 1 day to build both towers. And by the morning of day 47, all the towers are pretty much complete, which is a major stepping stone in building this castle. All I have left pretty much is to finish up some small details around the outside and also build myself an interior. Although I'm gonna take a second and wait on doing that stuff, because if you haven't noticed, I got up to level 30 when I was mining all of those diamonds down in the deep slate. Now, that doesn't exactly mean anything because a cow has not spawned on our starter island yet, so I don't really have a good way to get any leather. There is a way though. By making my way down to the caves that we found earlier with all the little lava pools inside of it, I can use a water bucket to turn the lava into obsidian and then mine up 10 to 14 pieces of this stuff. Using the obsidian, I can build myself a nether portal and make my way into the nether. But first, I'm gonna use some of my diamonds to craft a full set of diamond armor. Now, if I were to tell you I'm not scared right now, that would frankly be a lie, because I am absolutely terrified. Anyways, I gotta take my diamond helmet off and put it away because I need to be wearing some sort of gold armor for piglins not to attack me. Anyways, I guess it's time for us to go through. Oh, okay, that's not the best spawn in the world, to be honest. It's not terrible, it's just a little sketchy because there's hoglins that spawn in here that do a lot of damage. I'm just gonna build a little wall around the portal, which should keep it completely safe, and I also brought myself a fence gate so I can put it right there. Now, you're probably wondering, why in the world would I go into the nether if I need leather? That is because these piglins over here have a chance of giving you leather when you barter with them. It's just not super likely to happen. Perfect, there we go. He traded a little bit of leather and we got 2 from that. Sadly, I am gonna need, I wanna say about 45 pieces, so this is gonna take a lot of time, which is time I don't have. With that being said, I'm gonna go ahead and build an auto bartering farm, which is perfect because they're not very resource heavy and they don't take much time at all to build. The hardest part is just getting the piglin into the chamber for the bartering. And I didn't have to do it once, I had to do it twice, which made it a little bit harder. And officially, the bartering farm is completely working. We already got 2 leather right there, and this guy hasn't given us any yet. The only downside of these farms is they go through gold like crazy. Like that was like 30 golden ingots in about a minute and a half, which means I'm gonna need a lot more gold. Oh no, I made a mistake. I forgot to put a name tag on one of the piglins and he already despawned. You know, I'm just gonna forget about it for now. I think 1 piglin should be enough. When it came to collecting up gold, it took quite a while to get myself out of a crimson forest and to find another wasteland. The reason I'd rather be in another wasteland is because it's much easier to see and collect up gold nether ore. Luckily, I also had a realization that if I kill the hoglins, they happen to drop leather too. So as I was collecting up gold, I was also looking for hoglins to kill. And finally, after 5 in-game days of strictly collecting up leather and killing hoglins, we officially have 49 leather, which is going to be more than enough to build an enchantment setup. With plenty of leather and sugarcane, I just needed to chop a few trees to get logs so I can craft the bookshelves. I spent a few minutes trying to think of where to put this enchantment setup, and I'm gonna put it on top of one of the towers since it's a 5x5. And it should be a level 30. Yes, it is. After going through all pieces of armor and all the diamond tools I just crafted, the best thing showing I think is efficiency 4 on the pickaxe. So we're gonna go ahead and do that, and of course we just got efficiency 4. I mean, hey, at least we're gonna mine things quicker. On day 56, I spent pretty much the entire day harvesting up all of our fields and planting in the last wheat field. This island is really starting to come together. All the fields are complete. We just have the interior and obviously some final touches. So with that being said, I spent some time collecting up some random blocks and crafting some other stuff so we can get this outside finished up. Along with taking a few minutes to clean up this starter island since I need it completely open for any passive mobs to spawn, which I'm really starting to lose faith in. Day 58 now, and I have all of the glass placed in on all 4 sides. I also made a little bit of a discovery. I'm gonna need to rip all this dirt out to get a floor placed in, and as you can see, half of this is about coarse dirt and the other half is pathway. And my discovery is, well, you know, if I turn that into pathway and then place a block on top of it, it turns into normal dirt, which is huge because it is so hard to get dirt in this world. So with that being said, I spent the rest of day 58 and part of day 59 getting this floor completely completely ripped out. And just by the morning of day 60, I got the floor all cleared out and we have a bunch of excess dirt, which is super nice. But I've decided to use a block for the floor, which I don't exactly have a lot of, which means I'm gonna have to collect it up. And that is going to be tough blocks along with the brand new tough bricks. So time to go do some collecting. I'm actually really glad I got efficiency 4 on the pickaxe because tough already is really quick to mine, and then add efficiency 4 to the equation and it's even quicker. Day 61 and the floor is complete, and I am really happy with how this turned out. I didn't really want it to look randomized. I wanted to do this look using the normal tough and having these veins going through the bricks, looking like the floor has maybe been patched up or sealed up over time. With the floor now complete, I can get started on the interior, but first I need to collect up a few different blocks so I can actually build it. I also need to figure out a solution for these trees because I do eventually want to build another structure on this island and I need a place to plant trees. Is that what I think it is? Oh my god, it is that sound. We have a wandering trader. Finally, please sell a sapling. No, I guess he has mangrove. I guess I might as well trade for the mangrove because it is one more wood type. So yeah, I'm gonna go for it. That does mean I am now all out of emeralds, so if a wandering trader spawns that sells spruce saplings, I'm gonna be real sad. It is now day 63 and I'm having a little bit of trouble of figuring out how to design this interior. The only reason it's a little hard is because there's an entrance on all 4 sides, and then on all 4 corners there's an opening that goes up to the tower. But luckily I do think I have an idea. The concept I'm going for is having a room in each corner because I think it's going to be the best use of this space. And we're also going to have enough room for a second floor. And after getting a fresh stack of potatoes, I actually want to head up to the enchantment table and see what we can get. I decided to go for another pickaxe since our current one is almost broken and we got just unbreaking, which isn't the worst thing in the world, but I mean, it's not great. At least I can combine our 2 pickaxes together and hopefully we get something better. There we go, 6 levels, and we now have an E4 Unbreaking 3 pickaxe, which to me is pretty solid. It's a good work pickaxe. I'd love to maybe get some fortune or silk touch, but I guess that's gonna have to wait. Not very long though, because I actually want to take a break from working on the interior and make our way down to the skeleton spawner we found earlier. This spawner is gonna be perfect for an XP farm along with bones, which is gonna be great for micro farms, and I love using bone meal around my builds. We've already gone to the nether and got the hardest item to acquire, which is the soul sand, so all it really takes is a little bit of clearing out, building a water tunnel, and then a killing chamber. In my opinion, these are probably one of the easiest farms to build in Minecraft. Now, it does feel like I just wasted a lot of time to enchant another diamond pickaxe only to get Unbreaking 3 and Efficiency 3. But what it has done is the next enchantment on the sword is showing a looting 3, which is awesome. It's gonna make my life a whole lot easier when it comes to collecting ender pearls to go to the end. On to day 67, where I spent a majority of the day chopping down trees to get as much wood as possible, along with harvesting a few of our fields just so I can build up a supply of crops. Moving on to day 68, where I spent the entire day getting all of our items out of the chest and into our storage area. This took a surprisingly long time to do. And finally, by day 69, our starter island is pretty much all cleared up. I just have the trees and the nether portal. There's also a zombified piglin that came through, but I have no idea where he just went. I'm assuming he went into the water? I mean, he might be down here, but I'm not seeing him. And I found him. It turns out he dropped below the island and he's right here. I kind of want to put him in a boat and give him a name tag, but I feel like that might be a waste of a name tag. Anyways, for the rest of day 69, I decided to go around the island adding some lanterns so no mobs will spawn. I also took a second to finish up the 2 other rooms on the interior just so I can get an idea of what it looks like. I also went around and added in some fence and fence gates on all 4 of the entrances, so if any mobs do spawn, there's no way of them getting inside the castle. And just like that, we are now on to day 70, which only leaves us with 30 more days in this 100-day series. Now, I spent a little while going through some things that we can do for this final 30 days, and one of the projects I want to get done is building a few more of these small islands on each side of the bigger island. Luckily, earlier we were able to get a lot of dirt, which should be enough to construct at least 1 and maybe even 2, and I'm thinking these islands are going to be really good for adding other farms because right now I don't have any sugarcane fields, nor do I have any pumpkin or melon fields. I crafted most of the the normal dirt into coarse dirt using gravel, and somehow that still was not enough dirt. I'm just missing this little sliver here, and I thought that would be enough to even build another island, but I guess not. With that being said, I made my way back down to the skeleton spawner we built a little bit ago in the hopes of getting up to level 30 and enchanting my diamond shovel to hopefully get efficiency. But first, I need to enchant my sword because I'm not gonna pass up on a looting 3 enchantment. And that's not horrible. I would have loved to have sharpness, but still, that's pretty good. Time out from the shovel. I actually hear a zombified villager right now, and I want to try getting this guy. I'm just really hoping he's not that way because over there is a spawner. These spiders do a ridiculous amount of damage when they get you with the poison. Just slowly but surely through the cobwebs. Follow me, and you're just gonna get in this boat right here. Oh, we got him. Oh my goodness, we actually got a zombified villager. Just wanna close this off, and he shouldn't despawn since he's in the boat. So I'm pretty much just gonna leave him here for now, because we only have one of them, and I don't have any way to get potions of weakness just yet. So I guess it's just gonna have to wait. Anyways, back down to the skeleton spawner. I decided to push through level 30 and get myself all the way up to level 33 so I can do 2 enchantments without having to make the journey up and down. Now, would it just be easier to move this entire enchantment setup down to the skeleton spawner? Yeah, it probably would be, but I kind of like the fact that I can't just wait down there and get a ton of levels and enchant, because I feel like I'm gonna end up wasting a bunch of time. Anyways, at least we officially have Fortune 3 on a pickaxe, and I was also able to get just Efficiency 4 on a shovel, which isn't the greatest thing ever, but I was just wanting Efficiency 4. The reason I wanted Efficiency 4 so bad on a shovel is because there is a ton of dirt down on the ocean floor, and this will make it go much quicker when it comes to mining it. Although I do need to be careful when it comes to using that shovel because I almost just broke it mining all of that dirt. Unbreaking 3 really does make a difference when it comes to any tool that you're going to be insta mining with. And by the morning of day 74, our 3rd island is now constructed. And I don't have quite enough dirt to finish up another island, but if I do collect up some gravel, I'll be able to double the amount of dirt this is by crafting it into coarse dirt. And if I want to turn it into normal dirt, we can use the solution I used earlier, which is turning the coarse dirt into path block and then placing a block on top of it, which gives us normal dirt. As it became nighttime on day 73, I noticed that mobs started to spawn on the island we just constructed, which at first I wanted to go light it up with torches, and then I had an epiphany. If I were to build 2 more of these islands on each side of the bigger island, there's a pretty decent chance that a zombified villager might spawn at nighttime. So I spent all day 74 collecting up dirt from underwater and also making my way down into the caves to collect up some gravel. And by the morning of day 75, I should have more than enough coarse dirt and normal dirt to construct 2 more islands. As I was building these 2 other islands, I got to thinking about the future of this base, and all 4 of these outer islands will be connected in a ring to make 1 mega base. But that is gonna have to wait for the next 100 days because I don't think we have enough time to finish that all up. While I wait for it to become nighttime so some mobs can start spawning on these islands, I actually want to go ahead and add some artificial flags to the tops of these towers. And I don't have any wool, so I won't be able to use that, but I'm thinking some concrete might work just as well. I'm thinking of using orange concrete for these because I think it's going to contrast really nicely up against the blue ocean. Luckily, when you dye concrete, the colors are just as vibrant as wool, if not even more. And luckily, by the time I finished these flags, it had now become nighttime. Although I had no luck getting a zombified villager, just a bunch of loot from all the mobs I killed. You know, I just realized something. Both of these flags are going in the right direction, but one of them kind of goes that way and one of them kind of goes that way. And according to physics, that doesn't really make sense, or at least to win. So I'm gonna go up there and fix it. And that is looking much better and much more realistic. I was thinking about doing flags on the other 2 towers, but I kind of like doing diagonally like this. And if I were to do them on the other 2 towers, I probably would do it with a different color concrete. I would do blue, but I don't know if that would look great up against the ocean. For the rest of day 77 and all of day 78, I went around placing saplings on all of our brand new islands to harvest some wood. Because if I want to keep building, I desperately need some building blocks. Even though we have this open space here, I still have yet to do anything with it. And since I also have these 2 open rooms, I'm thinking about making one of them a staircase going up to the 2nd floor. I wish I had an idea of what I actually wanted to put on this 2nd floor, but all I'm thinking right now is just the bedroom. With limited building blocks, it's hard to go through and detail an interior while making it look good. To continue with all the block collection, I actually want to go ahead and build a cobblestone generator so I have an easy way to collect stone, which means I need to make my way down to the caves we found earlier that have all the lava pools and collect up 1 bucket of lava and bring it back to the surface. surface. I also made a quick stop by the skeleton spawner to get myself up to level 33 so I can do 2 enchantments. With everything together, I could now build this cobblestone generator, and once it was complete, I decided to spend the rest of day 81 and all of day 82 collecting up stone for another project. This project is also going to require a decent amount of dirt because I am going to be building another island. For this project, we're going to go about 100 blocks away from the main base because I want to build another island which will hold a lighthouse. The concept behind the lighthouse is it's going to be a good place to hide this cobblestone generator since it's pretty ugly, and also if you're coming to the base by boat, it will be pretty cool to have this lighthouse signifying that you have arrived at the castle. Unlike all of the other islands I've built, I decided to make this one a little less uneven and also adding in some height variation between the blocks. As much as I love how that castle is looking along with the surrounding islands, I really wanted this one to be a little bit different. Anyways, I gotta make my way back over there to go grab a bunch of stone, along with chopping almost every single one of these trees down because I'm gonna need quite a bit of wood when it comes to building this lighthouse. Oh no, the dolphin, it's stuck on land. Come on, buddy, get back in the water. There we go. Oh, that was a close call. I don't want no dolphins dying on my island. And by day 86, I pretty much have everything together that is required to build this lighthouse. When we were in the Nether earlier, I spent a little bit collecting up some glowstones so I can craft some redstone lamps. I want this lighthouse to have a very realistic effect to it, so I want to do lights at the top that are constantly flickering. When it came to the block choice, I used very similar blocks to the main castle since I don't really have anything else to build with. I also went ahead and put another orange flag on top of this just to signify it's a part of the main castle. And just by the morning of day 90, the lighthouse is completely finished, and we also had a wandering trader spawn in. Now, I can't trade with him because I'm all out of emeralds, but he is trading some cherry saplings, which isn't too big of a deal because I don't really build with cherry wood. Now, as much as I like how the island is looking, it is definitely missing some grass. And also, if you can't notice, I got a little bit sick over the last few days, so that is why my voice is a little bit different. With Silk Touch being the only way to really acquire any grass blocks, I made my way down to the skeleton spawner to get up to level 30. Now, am I going to be lucky enough to get Silk Touch on the first try? Let's go ahead and see. We are showing Unbreaking 3. Maybe it might come with some Silk Touch. No, it came with Fortune 3, which is still pretty good, but not what I wanted. And back down I go to the skeleton spawner. This time I got myself up to level 34, so I can do 2 enchantments, maybe even 3. Please give me Silk Touch. Okay, that's still a really good shovel. And now it's showing efficiency 3, so I'm gonna do a 1 level enchantment real quick. And now what are we showing? Still efficiency 3. Okay, well, there's still a chance I can get Silk Touch. Please, please? No. I'm gonna go ahead and throw this efficiency 3 shovel in the grindstone to get some levels back. And what are we showing now? Okay, just efficiency 4, which still means I need to go back to the skeleton spawner and get up to level 30 one more time. And now we're on take 3. We are showing efficiency 4. Please give me a little bit of Silk Touch. No Silk Touch. I really don't want to disenchant that one, so I'm just going to make another shovel. And we're showing efficiency 4 again. Now, I could go ahead and do another 1 level enchantment, which will reset the entire enchantment table, but I'm not quite sure I want to do that. You know what? I'm going to. It's probably the right idea. I should just wait for it to show. Okay, now it's showing Fortune 3 again, which is exactly what I don't need. The helmet is showing Aqua Affinity, and I'm gonna go ahead and do that just because might as well, and that actually is a pretty good helmet. And then I'm also gonna collect up all of these bookshelves and just bring them down to the skeleton spawner. I told myself I wasn't gonna do this because that means I can just AFK down there, but I'm also probably gonna bring my cobblestone generator down there so I have something to do. It just feels like I'm wasting a lot of time running up and down trying to get Silk Touch. And by the morning of day 95, I can finally harvest a few pieces of grass from this main island and hop in our boat to make my way over to the lighthouse so I can officially start to place some grass in so this island looks a little greener. What is going on over? Oh, buddy, you're here. Let me try helping you out. Let me try helping you out. There we go. You're good. With all of the grass placed in, hopefully by day 100, this island is completely green. With just about 5 days remaining of this 100-day challenge, I'm not exactly sure what I want to build. But after some thought, I think I'm gonna build a large ship over by the lighthouse, which will look like it's coming from the mainland. It could be dropping off goods, animals, or other items to this castle castle out in the middle of the ocean. While I build this ship over the remaining days on this world, I wanted to talk about the future. Once we reach the 100 days, I was thinking maybe I can head out to the mainland and start collecting up saplings. The next 100 days is going to be really focused on expanding this base and making it much bigger, but it's going to be hard to do that with the limited amount of blocks I have. Now, I'm going to leave this decision up to you guys, so let me know down in the comments what you would prefer to see. Whether that be me heading out to the mainland strictly just to grab saplings and some other building blocks, or continuing to stay on this island and trading with wandering traders to get the different saplings. You guys let me know. And just by the morning of day 99, the ship is complete and I think it is looking great. I chose to use diorite walls as the sails because if I were to use banners, the banners would disappear once I'm a certain distance from the ship. I could have also used full wool blocks, but that would have been really expensive, just like the banners. Anyways, with 1 day left on this challenge, there's a few small little details I want to get done around our main base and also that island. So first up, we're going to head over to the lighthouse. As you can see, all the grass has grown in, so I want to take a little bone meal to go around the island to give it a little bit more detail. I really want this island to look super overgrown, so I'm probably going to use more bone meal than I need, but at least it's going to have a cool look. Is it too much tall grass? Yeah, I think there's a chance it might be, but I still think it looks better than it did before. And then another one of the projects I want to work on is I actually want to turn all this coarse dirt into pathway, and then using some normal dirt, I'm going to go over the top of the pathway because that's going to turn all of this into dirt. And then I want to go over to our grassy island so I can transplant some more grass into our main island. And once all of this grass grows in, I'm going to be able to use some bone meal and give these little areas a little bit more life. Although I got 7 more of these to do, and I'm not quite sure if I'm going to be able to do it. The sun is getting ready to set on the 99th day of this world, which means it's almost time for bed. Actually, it probably is time for bed right now. Let's check. Yeah, it is. And there we go. We have officially made it through 100 days of hardcore Minecraft, and we started from a stranded little island and transformed it into this awesome castle that will be further expanded in the next 100 days. We also built a pretty cool lighthouse over there that is fully functional, along with a ship besides it, got full diamond tools and full diamond armor, and much more. Thank you guys so much for watching this 100 days of Minecraft. I look forward to the next 100 days on this world. Don't forget to smash that like button and subscribe if you're not already. See ya!